Hello everyone, I'm Mithra. Hey, we got the Gen Con update. Hooray! This is the August Kickstarter update, the update after Gen Con. The shop has been updated, all the Gen Con stuff is there, including Fade Percival. So all the Gen Con releases are there. Can pick them up. They're on the shop now. But we're going to look at the update. We got our Gen Con art here. Returned from our annual trip to the hallowed halls of the Indianapolis Convention Center and are busy at work ensuring a smooth fulfillment. For everyone patiently waiting for the revamped Shipping Wave 1 rewards, the team has come to regard our yearly trip to Gen Con with much fondness for good reason. So it's a good time to engage with the Kingdom Death community face-to-face, and although the days of the convention can be demanding work, we always step off the convention floor with hearts filled with enduring fan interactions and motivations turbocharged to make the best version of Kingdom Death we can in the coming year. And then we got this core game restock with this little final lantern thing here, which is really neat. So 1.6 has been restocked, so if you've been waiting to get core game, it is now up on the shop right now, and you can get one. So Gen Con web store, again, here's all the Gen Con releases. I've already done all the Gen Con releases reviews because I got them at Gen Con, so I was able to do them all. But there's Snow is here. So one of the very rare times I can actually tell you that my opinion, you can watch the videos on them, I go over everything. It's a rare opportunity that you can get all the reviews out before the stuff on the shop goes up. Usually the shop goes up and then it's like 2 weeks, a week or two before reviews get out and stuff, so. But here, Snow. Snow is great for the core game. I think Snow is a great addition for core game. Really neat. I love this legendary character box with the 4 versions of the same survivor, just like the Glow legendary character was. And this is Snow, one of the original sculpts of Saviors way back, and they've all been redone and resized, so very cool. Then there's Survivors of Death 2. Again, there's video up on Survivors of Death 2 already. Watch it, but Survivors of Death 2 is also good. The only caveat with Survivors of Death is, like, it's best when used with Gambler's Chest, especially this one. This one has a lot of caveats on it. Survivors of Death 1 only had the caveat of, like, Gambler's Chest and Frog Dog. This one has the caveat of Gambler's Chest and, like, Atlas, because, well, that's still Gambler's Chest, but then also Dragon King for this one, but not just Dragon King, where Frog Dog, you can just use Frog Dog and use the one from Survivors of Death 1. This one you need to play Stars, because it's actually a Tyrant thing. So this one has lots of caveats. Not only does it come with a knowledge where you'll need to playing arcs, but it also has Atlas as a thing where you need to be using Nemesis Node 2 for one of the seeds. Character deck needs Gambler's Chest also. Then it's going to be the Dragon King playing Stars because it's a Tyrant IR. So this one has a lot more caveats. So if you just have core game and you don't have Gambler's Chest, like, I would honestly pass on this one because it's so heavily involved with Gambler's Chest. But outside of that, I thought Survivors of Death was great because of Crabman. Of course, praise Crabman. There's Percival. Or not Percival. Percival's not on the shop, but you can pre-order her still. But this is Fade. Pillar Fade is what I was going to say, because both releases are Pillar Percival, Pillar Fade. But this one is Fade, so Fade's great. Not much changes to the gear itself. You can read the Pillar card, but if you already have Fade, I personally already had Fade, so I didn't get this. I'll just wait for maybe a card pack is what I'm really hoping. The hunt event changes to like a must. You can't not do it, but other than that, it's like minor things. I think like Cult was added to one of the sword or something, but all good. Flower Knight Bust, amazing. There was also the other stuff added to the sword, Badar. I have reviews on Badar, and there's also or not sword added to the shop. I said sword because Sword of Silence. I meant Badar for Scimitar, and the oblique shield or obelix shield. I forget what Arco She was on there too, along with the beta Punctual Bride. And then there's also like shirts and stuff on there too. So very cool shop update. All the stuff from Gen Con. All of it's very good. You can see all the videos up for that. So here's a picture of the line. It's probably the first day, I would assumed. It's the first day. Could have also been another thing. But we've settled into a well-paced rhythm. And through the physical demands of setting up exhibition space that is up to the exacting standards remains the same. Having a confident and well-versed roadmap has cleared up a lot of the mental bandwidth for the team to just be excited to engage with fans. The unprecedented crowds and cheers spilling out from the demo tables was a joy to see from my usual perch next to the booth. Everyone was absolutely amazing this year, and I cannot thank the team enough for making each subsequent Gen Con even more successful than the last. Kingdom Death always does really well at Gen Con. I'm so glad they had 1.6 there for them to sell. Bundled with the Gambler's Chest for the 666 bundle. That's such a good deal. They always do really well at Gen Con. Always so happy for them that they had core games this year too. I was like kind of worried. It would have been bummed out if they wouldn't, because I know they always sell so well. All the stuff always sells so well. So Kingdom Death really does kill it when it comes to Gen Con. Dazzling displays. On top of thank yous, I wanted to give a big thank you to our lovely fan, Eric with an N, I think is how you say it. I don't they could comment and tell me how to say it, because I know I also have seen their comments. They can also ping me on Discord that I said it wrong. But for clever us to create some absolutely badass new display cases. We take pride in the immense amount of intention we put to all of our displays, and these cases have allowed us to level our presentation to a groundbreaking level. Yeah, it's true. Their Gen Con booth is always show stealing, especially their play area and stuff. It's very eye-catching, draws a big crowd, not just because of what's for sale, but it's just great to look at all the stuff in the cases. A bounty of gifts, the opportunity to share in the joy of Kingdom Death and speak in person with fans is always a privilege that is hard to articulate with words alone. Yet our fans continue to go above and beyond with their gracious generosity. The team and I were presented with all manner of wonderful gifts throughout the convention, and I'd like to express my gratitude for each and every one. Though there's not nearly enough space to spotlight each individual item we were given, carved out a space for each item we've received. As I walk through the office, looking at all these physical manifestations of love and support, can't help but get excited to work on things our fans will continue to love. Hand-to-hand combat. So yeah, this is the hand. Wanted to give a particular kudos to a fan who rocked this incredible rendition of the hand, complete with his signature spine saver. Team member at our event space mentioned after the convention had wrapped that a hand cosplayer ended up attending a showdown event with the hand. Must have made for quite peculiar regal visit. Yeah, I agree. That is very cool. That they were able to fight the hand. I can include a little bit of that here. There we go. He wasn't the only one who dressed for the convention. It seems like every year there are more and more wonderful Kingdom Death cosplays that visit us on the exhibit hall floor. Off the cuff, I remember seeing great costumes of Glow, a female visionary. Oh, a female visionary. I don't think I saw a female visionary. I do remember the Glow. I remember the hand. A pair of starting survivors from past conventions that have been upgrading their gear to include rawhide armor pieces. Yes. They had a guitar, a lion guitar as well, I think. And a dagger, I think. But yeah, they're upgrading. That was very cool. I saw them playing, spoke with them for a little bit. They upgrade their gear. Next year they'll have more gear to represent, like the advancements. So, then there was a lore interview. Someone did a video. Gen Con painting contest. So these are painters from the community and stuff. This image has them in it. Included a gallery here of all the Kingdom Death themed entries we could find from the contest. A big thank you to our volunteer of death, Mumforde, for collating everything. So, yeah, crocodile, a flower. It's so funny how the cello here is like always like part of the flower night. So funny. That's Thief. Then we have Dragon King, Mox, Atlas, Echoes of Death 1, Sci-Fi Percival, a Blushing Owl, not Blushing Owl Armor, my bad, Blushing Owl Armor, Oblivion Mosquito, Mole, Loon, Necromancer Boss, that's a really old sculpt, Dung Beetle Knight Mecha Kit Bash. I wonder what this is a Kit Bash with, because that's amazing. Flower Knight, Pez Dispenser Atlas, which is amazing. Lamplighter, yay, Lamplighter. Wendy the Frozen Star, Painter Scale Lantern Armor. Lantern Armor Aya is what I meant. Starting Survivors and the Stone Wrecker. Hollow Bust, Novice. Painter Scale Novice. Okay, my bad. More Mole. That's going to be the Survivors of Death 1. Yes, Hospitalar. I couldn't remember what it was. She's got the Sunstalker Dancer Bust, Crimson Crocodile, and a Gold Smoke Knight. Stories from the team. In many ways, our trips to Gen Con are a microcosm of the work we do every day on this shared passion project. Whether it be manning our booth or creating the next wave of Kickstarter rewards, each individual is integral to the success of the whole. So I thought it would only be fitting to share some snapshots and sentiments from the rest of the team. That snapshot just shows the Kingdom Death thing on the one of the marketing packages. It was great interacting with potential new fans and guiding them through the demo. Even had a survivor named after me, and he ended up getting very lucky rolls. During one memorable cinematic showdown with the Red Witches, Brawl finally had a chance to perform the legendary card Meteoric Warrior. After she bludgeoned the survivor with a 4-card combo, they managed to remain standing with 4 bleed tokens. The euphoria was short-lived, as Nico immediately tag-teamed the survivor with her cruel Bladecraft, leaving our fierce brawler armor with no more blood to bleed. The other survivors succumbed shortly after, but they took the moral victory of surviving Brawl's hyper-combo finish. Love seeing people bring in painted models that we worked hard on at the lab. Satisfying to know that the pieces go to people who really appreciate them and do the sculpts justice. That was a highlight. One of the highlights, Gen Con was running the White Lion demos. Thoroughly enjoy seeing how everyone gets so intrigued as I explain the mechanics of the game and inform the survivors. You have 4 bleeding tokens, and if you get one more hit, that's it. Really ramps up the level of excitement, not just for the players, but for everyone else that's watching. The event space for 2025. Our event space this year, another roaring success. After testing out the waters last year, we decided to increase our table count this year to 4 in an effort to ensure that as many fans could experience the events as possible. From what I've been told, tickets still managed to sell out almost immediately. Yeah, pretty much. They all sold out pretty much immediately. So the 4 tables, one was Pariah, one was Red Witches, so they had 2 tables just dedicated to the new stuff, and then one was a regular Ark Survivor, or regular Survivors, and the other one was an Ark Survivors. Settlements of Death. One of the 2 main types of event players can experience at our event space are the Settlements of Death, curated campaigns that pass through the hands of dozen convention goers from lantern year to lantern year, weaving into a communal narrative over the course of the convention. I've always loved the sense of grandeur that develops around a survivor or a settlement once their story escapes the confines of a personal play session and is shared among the community at large. As if passing from the ordinary into legend, it was this very process that birthed a fan-favorite survivor, Crabman, last year. To that end, I would like to relay The fates of this year's Settlements of Death, Stone Hollow and Vinstead. Stone Hollow met its end in true Kingdom Death fashion, with the last 4 survivors of the settlement squaring off against the Butcher. At the end of the grueling showdown, one lone living survivor dealt a killing blow against the Nemesis before bleeding out themselves. Then Vinstead, after the last dice of the weekend was rolled, Vinstead was left with 7 survivors. Their names are recorded here for prosperity. Names are here. I will try. Kanazawa, Nicobolus, Ixel, Faith, Seedless Darkness, Belief, and Savior. Though I'm not certain what's next for Vinstead, I know we're not quite finished with this settlement story yet. And then Volunteers of Death. Hearty thank you to all volunteers for helping the team make playing Kingdom of Death an unforgettable experience for so many. The team had nothing but glowing endorsements for everyone's hard work. Kingdom of Death is a more complex game than much of what's available on the show floor, and that is reflected in the work that goes into running our events. I'm only able to have full confidence in the quality of our event space because I know that volunteers are the best in the industry, bar none. Thank you all again for dedicating your time and passion towards Kingdom Death. That B preview, someone made a video of that. Revamped Shipping Wave Fulfillment 1. Month back from Gen Con. Been dedicated to ensuring smooth fulfillment for everyone. Revamped Shipping Wave rewards, and I'm happy to report the majority of the US, Canada, Australia, Asia, South America, and ROW shipments are now fulfilled, which is good. Unfortunately, due to transit delays in Europe and the UK, fulfillment in those regions have only begun in earnest this week. A good number of European backers should have received tracking already, and we expect many more to do so by next week as more inventory makes its way to the warehouses. With all hands on deck working through the delays, we hope that we will be able to wrap fulfillment and have rewards in hands of all backers before the end of the next month. Can't wait for everyone to experience the lunacy this wave of content has to offer firsthand. So, again, you should be expecting the Four Wanderers, Gatherism, False Messengers. I guess also maybe perhaps some were saying that Percival made their way in there as well for some. And then, what's the other one? Pariah and Red Witch. Yeah, that's everything. So, it's great that everybody got all their stuff. I've been playing it. I might even be live by the time this video goes up. That's the plan, because first it's got to upload, got to do all that stuff, and then maybe I'll be able to go live right after that, hopefully. But this is a holiday weekend. Maybe I won't be able to do it again until Tuesday. We shall see. Dark Treasury update. For users of the Dark Treasury, rollout for this wave content is ongoing. Due to aforementioned transit delays, EU and UK backers may experience some slight holdups. Dark Treasury users from all regions should receive prompt fulfillment service. And then Blood Mage White Speaker pre-orders. So, Community Garden. We just talked revamp one. I don't need to read that one. Will you include at some point the node cards for all new expansions, or we need to wait until COD 2 to have those cards? We are currently looking at a few different approaches to providing node cards for newer entries into the expansions of Death. The two likeliest solutions at the moment are either to provide them alongside the release of COD Volume 1 with the rest of the earlier expansions, or in a dedicated card pack. Well, we did see in the COD overview that, like, Gambler's Chest was in there because it showed this node cards for Gambler's Chest in the COD overview. So I'm hoping the Gambler's Chest stuff is in COD, but yeah, it would be... You really need to get all this stuff out right away with COD. You can't ship COD without also having the node cards for all the other expansions. At least for Gambler's Chest, at the very minimum. So, you really got to figure out a way to get them all out at the same time. So hopefully they do that. When can we expect to see Kingdom Death builds guides be updated? Basically, it's just one person doing it, and when they have time, they'll do it. Will the original beta users of Dark Treasury keep their access to it for the next waves, or we have to sign up again? Signing up for Dark Treasury is a one-time process. Once it's connected, you're good. What about being able to run the sim without a cloud resource? Well, it never comes, so basically just asking... is there any way that the sim will ever see an offline version? Unfortunately, we weren't able to offer an offline version of the KDS sim at this time. Should a time ever arrive that continued support for KDS is no longer possible, I will discuss possible solutions for preserving access for existing users with the dev team. So maybe. It's a maybe in the future, far future. Just got Gatherism. The back philosophy card is different from the others. Anyone the same issue or just me? Unfortunately, we do not have suitable replacements for discolored card backs at this time. Color consistency remains a field we strive to improve upon. The issue has been made known to our manufacturer partners, and we will be adding additional steps to our QA process to prevent similar issues from arising in the future. Card backs are always going to be a problem. They've always been a problem. You should just make opaque sleeves. That's what I would do. You should just sell opaque sleeves. That's how you fix this. The official sleeve should just be opaque on the back. Is the printed stuff from the Messengers of Death being made available to returning backers from the first Kickstarter? I remember being talked about, not heard anything in a while. Yep. Game content for False Messengers will be available in a future card pack. There's a lot of content from stuff that should be in that card pack. I mean, there's also Fade and Percival here that should be talked about, but that future card pack doesn't necessarily mean next card pack. Hopefully it means next card pack, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. So hopefully it's just in a timely manner is all we can hope. Do you have any plans to make the Harvester a monster you can fight? Not at the moment, no. So that's it for the update. This update's great. Artwork is great. All the painting pictures are great. All the stories from the convention are great. It's always great. Just this Gen Con and Black Friday are like the two big things for Kingdom Death. They're like the SummerSlam and WrestleMania. So like they're the two big shows. So it's always good when you get these follow-up ones, and then the store's always got good stuff on there. So Gen Con's one you can always look forward to, the end of the August update. And then Black Friday is what we go towards now. It's not all great. There was no mention here of COD at all when COD was supposed to be in print by August. That's what was said on the Kickstarter. No mention of it here. That's not great. No mention of Screaming God either. That's also not great. But I get it. This is the Gen Con update, and you got to talk about Gen Con. I get it. Gen Con's a lot of stuff. Hopefully next month. I am now expecting it next month. You got to talk about Screaming God. You got to talk about COD. Screaming God especially. COD, whatever. I mean, it'd be nice to know about COD, but COD, whatever. Screaming God, though, be nice to know what's with that. Is it done? Is it shipping? So, other than that, great. These are great updates. So, if you want to see the Wave stuff, I've already done one live stream. I've already fought Pariah. I'm using Goth the Wanderer. Hoping to continue that as soon as this is uploaded, because then I can stream. I won't be using my upload data. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you very soon.